In this video, we will study the second method for analyzing factor, that is factor analysis, that is principal component method of factor analysis. Principal component method, or simply PC method, of the factor analysis developed by H. Hotling, seeking to maximize the sum of squared loadings of each factor extracted in turn. Accordingly, PC factor explains more variance than would the loading obtained from any other method of factoring. The aim of the principal component method is the construction out of a given set of variable xj's of new variable called principal component, which are linear combination of x. So linear combination of x can be represented as like this: p1 p2 pk. Then linear combination of x means in multiple means a11 will be multiplied with x1, a12 multiplied with x2, a1k multiplied with xk, like this. You have to represent the linear combination. The method is being applied mostly by using a standardized variable, that is z. J is equal to xj minus x bar j whole square minus sigma j. The AIJs are called loadings and are worked out in such a way that the extracted principal components satisfy two conditions. Number one is principal components are uncorrelated, and number two, the first principal component P1 has the maximum variance, the second principal component P2 has the next maximum variance, and so on. Okay. So following steps are usually involved in principal component method. Estimates of AIJs are obtained with which x are transformed into orthogonal variable, that is the principal components. A decision is also taken with regard to the question how many of the component to retain into the analysis. We then proceed with the regression of y on these principal component, that is y equal to y1 cap p1 plus y2 cap p2 plus ym cap pm. Third is from aij and yij we may find bij of the original model, transferring back from the p's into the standardized x's. The third method for factor analysis is maximum likelihood ML method of factor analysis. The ML method consists in obtaining sets of factor loading successively in such a way that each in turn explains as much as possible of the population correlation matrix as estimated from the sample correlation matrix. If RS stands for the correlation matrix actually obtained from the data in the sample, RP stands for the correlation matrix that would be obtained if the entire population were tested. Then the ML method seeks to extrapolate what is known for RS in the best possible way to estimate RP. But the PC method only maximizes the variance explained by in RS. Thus, the ML method is a statistical approach in which one maximizes some relationship between the sample of data and the population from which the sample was drawn. So, what are the merits of factor analysis? Number one, the technique of factor analysis is quite useful when we want to condense and simplify the multivariate data. Number two, the technique is helpful in pointing out important and interesting relationship among observed data that were there all the time but not easy to see from the data alone. The technique can reveal the latent factors, underlying factors not directly observed, that determine relationships among several variables concerning a research study. For example, if people are asked to rate different cold drinks like Limca, Coca-Cola, Gold Spot, and so on, according to preference, a factor analysis may reveal some salient characteristics of cold drinks that underlie the relative preferences. Number fourth is the technique may be used in the context of empirical clustering of products, media, or people. That is for providing a classification scheme when data scored on various rating scales have to be grouped together. Some limitations are also there of factor analysis. Factor analysis, like a multivariate technique, involve a laborious computation involving heavy cost burden, with computer facility available these days. There is no doubt that factor analysis has become relatively faster and easier, but the cost factor continues to be the same. Large factor analysis are still bound to be quite expensive. Number two is the result of a single factor analysis are considered generally less reliable and dependable. For very often a factor analysis starts with a set of imperfect data. The factors are nothing but blurred averages, difficult to be identified. To overcome this difficulty, it has been realized that analysis should be done twice. If we get more or less similar results from all around rounds of analysis, our confidence concerning such results increases. The third limitation of factor analysis is a complicated decision tool that can be used only when one has through thorough knowledge and enough experience of handling these tools. Even then, at times it may not work well and even may disappoint the user. So these are the some of the limitations of factor analysis. This is the whole lecture on factor analysis. Hope you all have understand. So if you have any kind of query regarding this, you can ask in discussion forum. Thank you.